Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and the millions watching all over the world, are you ready? Let's get ready to rumble! Hey, this is LP from TechnoReview.com. Today we have something a little different. 12 rounds of heavyweight smartphone action. Welcome to our smartphone smackdown. In the white corner, weighing in at 150 grams, Nokia's new N-series device, the N97. In the black corner, HTC's very own flagship device, weighing in at 178.5 grams, that is, the Touch Pro 2. Okay, let's stop kidding around. I gotta mention, I'm a fan of both HTC and Nokia. I've had at least a dozen Nokia phones in the past, and I'm going on my third HTC device right now. So I have absolutely no reason to play favorites. Round 1. Fight. Design is pretty much always a factor when buying cell phones, because you definitely want to have a flashy device to show off to your business buddies and friends. The N97 has a very distinct Nokia quality about it. It's pretty much in line with the previous N-series devices. The only gripe about the device is that it resembles the 5800 Express Music quite a lot. You can get the Express Music device for under $300, while this device costs more than double. The Touch Pro 2 is also a very good looking device. It's sleek and streamlined, but the times people have confused this for an iPhone, I've already lost count. But these are small complaints because both devices are very good looking, and when it comes down to looks and design, it's pretty much always a matter of taste anyways. Some people like coffee, and some people prefer cocoa. That's the way it goes. So this round is a tie. Decide for yourself. Round 2. Fight. When talking about devices that are in constant use, build quality is definitely important. I mean, it can get annoying to wake up after a night on the town and finding your cell phone in your pocket in pieces. It's happened to me a couple of times. I wonder if tequila had anything to do with it. Anyways, both devices are made out of titanium. Well, not really. But it would be kinda cool to have a phone that can handle an entry into the Earth's atmosphere. But these devices are made out of plastic. Despite this, they both feel solid in the hand. Both have a good slide-out mechanism, but the tilting screen on the Touch Pro 2 has a slight jiggle to it, while the mechanism on the N97 is very solid. So the slight edge goes to Nokia in this round. Round 3. Fight. This round may be a very important deciding factor for most, because this part relates to the unique selling proposals of both devices, the QWERTY keyboards. Looking at the keyboards, it's quite obvious how this round will turn out. The tilting screen on the N97 is taking a hell of a lot of space away from the keyboard itself, leaving space for only 3 rows of keys. Even though I like typing with the N97, the Touch Pro 2 keyboard is definitely in a league of its own. The keys are bigger, more elevated, and spaced out comfortably, and the rows are misaligned like on a regular keyboard. And the Touch Pro 2 also sports a dedicated row of keys for the numbers. And I would say the typing is about 30% faster on the Touch Pro 2. The N97 gets owned pretty badly in this round. Round 4. Fight. When comparing the screens spec-wise, both have their advantages. The N97 has broader color range, but the screen on the Touch Pro 2 has bigger resolution. Being the keen-eyed resolution whore that I am, the advantage in sharpness is somewhat noticeable on the Touch Pro 2. Small text and details look slightly sharper on the Touch Pro 2. The Touch Pro 2 seems also to have a slight edge in brightness and contrast. Looking at the devices side by side, the advantage in colors is not apparent as you might think, and I really can't see the massive difference in color count on the N97. Better contrast and higher pixel density gives the Touch Pro 2 the points in this round. Round 5. Fight! Both devices have resistive touchscreens, which react to physical pressure. While HTC has plenty of touchscreen devices under its belt, this is only the second touchscreen device for Nokia. While I think the firmware update improved touchscreen sensitivity on the N97, it still can't compete with the Touch Pro 2. Pressing buttons and icons just needs a bit more pressure, and I would say that the sensitivity on the N97 is somewhat similar to the last generation of HTC devices. The Touch Pro 2 is a clear winner in this round. Round 6. Fight. If you watch my N97 review, you might remember that I wasn't too impressed with the Symbian S60 5th edition interface. They could have customized the interface for the N-series device because, as it is now, it's not quite enough to justify the high price tag. The Touch Pro 2 runs on Windows Mobile 6.1, which can be a bit clunky at times. Luckily, HTC has added their custom user interface on top of the operating system. TouchFlow 3D2 is very functional and easy to use, and you don't have to be MacGyver to operate the main functions. Although, it would be kinda cool to be MacGyver though. Anyways, when comparing the two UIs, the TouchFlow 3D2 stands out. It looks sleeker and runs smoother, although the Symbian has its pros as well. If you've used a Nokia device before, you'll probably find yourself at home using the S60 5th edition interface. Also, a very good feature on the N97 is the widget-based home screen, which can be customized to suit your everyday needs. The Nokia Ovi Store is a definite advantage to the N97 user experience. It's definitely a good idea to have a dedicated store for downloading new features and products onto your device. There's not a massive amount of stuff in the Ovi Store yet, but I did find this cool ringtone which they used in the newest Star Trek movie. While Windows mobile devices may not have a dedicated store yet, the community support, for example at XDA forums, is amazing. Weighing in the two interfaces' pros and cons, I have to reward this round to the Touch Pro 2. Round 7, fight! In this round, I'll be comparing the Opera Mobile 9.5 on the HTC device against the Symbian web browser on the N97. The two browsers are very similar in use. You can use your finger to flick around on the page and double tap to zoom in, although the Touch Pro 2 also has a dedicated zoom bar for zooming in and out of pages. The Symbian browser does support some flash out of the box, while the browser on the Touch Pro 2 does not. Loading times on the browsers are about the same. The Opera browser loads some pages faster than the Symbian and vice versa. A very cool feature on the Touch Pro 2 is the push internet. This feature lets you set your favorite internet pages to load at a predetermined time, so you won't have to wait for your favorite sites to load. The Symbian browser has its pros as well. Navigation between open tabs and previous sites is done smartly. Render quality is decent on both browsers. I noticed that when loading bigger sites on the Symbian browser, the kinetic scrolling can get a bit choppy. But the Opera mobile browser is not without fault either. I had the browser actually crashing one time while making this comparison. Both browsers are decent, but far from perfect. I call this one a draw. Round 8. Fight! The Touch Pro 2 sports a 3.2 megapixel camera and no flash. Now the N97 sports a 5 megapixel camera with a dual LED flash. The camera on the N97 is one of the best I've seen on a mobile device. It has all the functions you'd normally expect to see on a dedicated pocket camera. The N97 has dedicated buttons for operating the camera, which is always a good thing. The camera on the Touch Pro 2 is okay, but can't compete against the camera on the N97. Round 9, fight! Media playback is always featured in marketing slogans for these type of devices. A rock concert in your pocket, or a movie theater in the palm of your hand. I watch a lot of movies off the big screen, and it's not exactly the same as watching it from a 3.5-inch screen. Surely enough, both devices have nice and big screens, which are well suited for watching your favorite content while commuting on a train or plane, for example. When it comes down to media playback, you definitely want a device that can handle any format you pull off the net. Neither of these devices support DivX out of the box, but this isn't too big of a deal because I would recommend getting a third-party player anyways. For example, Core Player that handles pretty much every format you throw at it. I said pretty much. Unfortunately, the Symbian S65th edition does not support Core Player. In fact, I could not find a working player for the Symbian that can handle DivX and Xvid. But the N97 handles the formats it supports with ease, and excels over the Touch Pro 2 with 3GB formats. But since I have 0 movies in 3GP, I have absolutely no use for 3GP playback. I mean, I'm not gonna sit around for hours converting files. Another issue I have with the 3GB format is picture quality, which can get a bit blocky. Even though the N97 handles some formats with ease, the lack of codec and third-party player support is the reason this round goes to Touch Pro 2. Round 10, fight! Both devices have good music playing capabilities. The speakers on the Touch Pro 2 are better than the N97 speakers, which also makes speakerphone calls better on the Touch Pro 2. But the N97 has a feature that the Touch Pro 2 is dearly missing, the 3.5mm headphone jack. Without the jack, you won't be hooking your device up to external speakers to show off your Boy George collection. And in my books, that's a big enough reason to give this round to the N97. Round 11, fight! Ignore the battery life promises on the spec sheets. It ain't gonna happen. Both devices have 1500 mAh batteries, and battery life is about the same. If you're a heavy user, you will be depleting your battery in 2 days, so keep your charger handy. Round 12, fight! When it comes down to it, price may become a deciding factor. But rest assured, no matter what, both devices will be making a hole in your wallet the size of a decent shotgun blast. The 32GB internal storage and superior camera justify the higher price tag on the N97, so I would call this one a draw. So that's about it. The Touch Pro 2 took down the N97 with a final score of 94 points. I'm probably going to get some flack from Nokia fans, but that's okay. I still consider both devices to be good business smartphones, and I expect Nokia to be upping the ante next time around. The Touch Pro 2 is now the defending champion, and I'm going to need your help to choose the next challenger. Post your suggestions on the comments. Thanks for watching. LP signing out.
Finish him! Fatality.